Kakiseni melancarkan siri kedua Kakiseni Arts Exchange 2012. Program ini akan menggabungkan karyawan seni dari serata dunia untuk bekerjasama dengan penggiat seni Malaysia untuk membincangkan program ini yang turut disokong Kementerian Penerangan, Komunikasi dan juga Kebudayaan dan juga harapan bajet industri kreatif 2013. Kita bersama pengarah Kakiseni Long Yuan. Hi.
Hello.
Thank you for joining us today.
Thank you for having me.
First of all, let's talk about Kakiseni Arts Exchange. I think we discussed that there were 4 showcases, right?
Yes.
Happening throughout Malaysia. Maybe you can tell us about the initiative to bring people from all over the world to collaborate with the Malaysians.
I think the whole idea of the Arts Exchange is threefold. The first one is talent development. So what we are hoping to achieve is to get people with all kinds of skill sets to come together to Malaysia. So we have renowned artists from, say, United Kingdom, Australia, New Zealand, Spain, all coming into Malaysia and share these skill sets with Malaysian artists. So that's really important, so that it can inspire, mencetuskan lebih idea untuk bergiat dalam seni, you know. And then we have, aside from talent development, wanted to do audience development. So after they learn the skill sets with each other, they go down on ground secara guerrilla and go to community centres, go to kampung-kampung, go to public spaces, and they will perform. They will make a show happen live there.
And this audience, how did they react to this guerrilla style exhibition or showcase in that sense?
I think at first they kejut. At first they were like, hey, you know what's happening here, you know, what's really happening. We explain after that, you know, so that they understand that this is performing arts, etc. But what was really interesting is that they always end up saying, can we have more? So where else do we go to see the next thing? So that was very encouraging for all of us and very arousing indeed, yeah.
And the artists themselves, if I call them that, the artists themselves, they get participations from people from all over the world. Their reaction and how did they respond to that? Were they okay with it?
Of course. Yeah. I think one of the most important thing in most artists is that they need to have this need for lifelong learning. That they need to always be exposed to things, always open their mind up to see different things. And what more when you have a great opportunity to get together with people of the same wavelength, of the same generation, to speak about ideas exchange, to talk about how you do it in your country, what is the best practice in your country, how we do it here. Hey, can we find a middle point? How do we work the same thing together? That's very exciting. Yeah.
And let's talk about budget 2013. And you know, as we come closer to the announcement of the budget 2013, previously the government announced about 200 million ringgit
for My Creative
for My Creative 2011, right?
Last year they announced for this year. Correct.
Okay. So what do you expect the government to maybe help? You know, how do you expect the government to maybe help the creative industry for 2013?
I think to move the creative industry as a contributor to the economy, you basically need to have a longer roadmap. So you need to plan not just for a year, not just for 2, but we have to look at blocks of like 5 years to 10 years. Because if we're talking about creative, we're talking about arts, we're talking about incubation period of a rather long time. So you can't do it on a year-to-year basis. We need to know that we are able to be sustainable, that we can move forward, we can melakukan perkembangan from time to time. We need to be able to see an entire plan. So I am really looking forward, and we have extended this wish to the Prime Minister, is that we want to be able to see plans long term, jangka panjang. So it would be great for once if the budget is able to say things like, and for the next 5 years, you know, performing arts, you know, we wanted to grow it, we wanted to make it a driver for the economy, and therefore we are very serious, we are making peruntukan sebanyak XX amount. We are looking at approximately, we're not a big industry at this point in time, so we start small, but we want to be able to grow to where it should be.
I think the Asian financial crisis in 1997, 1998, before that you see a lot of corporate patronage when it comes to visual arts itself. But post, maybe during the crisis, you know, it went down, but post crisis, I think it picked up a bit. But now, how is it? Because I think when people invest in visual arts, right, they can actually keep paintings and all that at homes or in offices and all that. But when it comes to performing arts, is there enough support from the corporate sector or from private sector?
Okay, look, performing arts is really the soul of the country. It's jiwa, you know. So yes, it's not like a piece of painting where you actually can value and devalue it. But if you stop feeding the soul of the country, can you imagine what's going to happen? But yes, having said that, in a more realistic sense, more tangible sense, performing arts still need a lot more assistance from the private sector. It still does. It does start in a lot of countries overseas. It does start with a lot of policy that's being made to enable that. For example, making it a lot more attractive for private organizations to support the arts. For example, in every space or so and so size, you need to have a space dedicated for performing arts, for example. A little black box of not more than 100 seaters, for example. Those are really great plans, because when you put resources like that out there, the creative content will grow.
Because I know in London and in New York, you see Broadway and West End and how they help to generate the economy through tourism and sell.
And not just that, real estate.
Yes, also. Is there recognition for performing arts in Malaysia? Where is the level of recognition for performing arts in Malaysia, and how do you elevate that to become that of London and maybe New York?
To be really honest, in terms of numbers, the recognition is really small for performing arts. But we haven't been looked at as a sector that is supposed to contribute to the economy. We have never been looked at as such. So if that is the case, then it would be very unfair to suddenly look at us and say, but you haven't been contributing, so therefore we wouldn't care about you. So, it's not fair to say that too. So what happened right now is that the government is looking at the creative sector as a whole. So you have film, you have television, you have animation, you have performing arts, you have craft, and you have a few more pillars, all 9 pillars together, as the creative industry. And under the creative industry, then how do we move this with a single vision, with a very clear, with a lot of clarity about how to grow the creative industry so that it can really generate a lot of money, a lot of ancillary business.
Dollars and cents in that sense, right?
Yeah,
okay.
Correct.
Thank you very much, Long Ayuan, dari pengarah Kakiseni. Long Ayuan bincangkan tentang Arts Exchange 2012 dan juga menjelang bajet 2013. Dan let's talk again after the budget announcement 2013.
Oh yes, definitely.
Okay, let's talk again after that, and then kita akan berhenti berehat seketika, kembali selepas ni.